Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar all about commercial modules. My name is Ryan Markham, and I am the Director of Open Source Software Sales here at Sangoma. And today we are going to take you through and give you an overview of what are commercial modules that we sell for FreePBX and even PBXact. We're going to talk about kind of the similarities and differences in how licensing works between the offerings that we have with respect to a 25-year license versus a 1-year license. And then once we go through that, I'm going to highlight the individual modules that we have and the different feature sets that they offer and bring to your production phone system. And then lastly, at the end, we'll chat about how you can save some money when purchasing multiple sets of modules with some bundles that we've put together for you, as well as even save more money with our commercial version of FreePBX PBXact. So let's dive right in here and get started with what are commercial modules. To go over what commercial modules are, you have to have at least somewhat of an understanding of what FreePBX is. So FreePBX is a very powerful open source phone system, and it's a very feature-rich phone system that ultimately anybody can get access to by going to freepbx.org and downloading our ISO and installing it and getting a very feature-rich phone system at essentially no charge. What Sangoma does and what the FreePBX project has is a suite of commercial modules, which are sort of software add-ons that are going to either enhance an existing feature set that's included with FreePBX out of the box and kind of expand on that feature set offering, or some of the modules will provide features that are just simply not included out of the box. For example, Parking Pro. Call parking is supported out of the box with FreePBX, but we do sell a commercial module called Park Pro that expands on the parking features that you would get for free with your phone system. And then Softphones would be an example of a module that we sell that's not expanding any feature set. There are no Softphones included with FreePBX, but you have the ability to purchase a Softphones module. So these are either going to expand upon an existing feature set or provide an additional one. We offer and sell these modules a la carte individually, as well as I mentioned, we provide some bundles that we'll go through here as well. We'll talk about kind of how the licensing and renewal fees work for 25-year and 1-year modules. And really, one of the things that these commercial modules provide is additional revenue to the FreePBX project. Sangoma spends millions of dollars a year on the development of FreePBX, and we continue to give that away at no charge. So these commercial modules that help you get a better feature set for your phone system also help further the open source project. And they really are a gateway to PBXact, which we'll cover here further as well. So starting with 25-year commercial modules, we have over 20 commercial modules that are available that you can purchase and get a 25-year license for. All of our 25-year modules are also available to purchase as a 1-year, but it does not work the other way around. So what you get is the license entitlement for 25 years. There's a misconception that a 25-year license means you have to buy one single purchase and you get access to everything under the sun for 25 years. But what we're giving you is the license. But what we only include for the first year free are access to updates and support on that license. So when you buy a 25-year commercial module license, we give you access to updates, which are going to be things like new feature releases, security patches, bug fixes, things like that, as well as support entitlements should you need any support from a config standpoint on that module. Each year after that first year, there is an annual renewal charge on the 25-year modules in order to get updates and support. That renewal charge is based on whatever the current MSRP price of that module is. So if you buy a commercial module that's over $100 MSRP, it's an 18% annual renewal charge for that module on FreePBX. We don't have a ton of modules that are under $100, but there are a couple, and those ones are going to carry a 33% annual renewal charge for access to updates and support. With the 1-year commercial modules, this is an annual license subscription. So this is a license that will require you to renew it each year, and the feature set that you subscribe to will stop working if you don't renew it. But you are going to have the access to updates and support with each annual subscription. And so some of the modules on this page would be some of the 1-year modules that we sell that are not available in a 25-year license. These particular modules are only available as an annual subscription-based license. So let's move into and highlight the commercial module offerings that we have for FreePBX. Endpoint Manager is going to be probably one of our most popular modules for FreePBX. What Endpoint Manager does is it offers you the ability to create and map your extensions and buttons through a module in the GUI of your FreePBX. So you can very easily create templates and provision potentially hundreds of phones in a short period of time without having to manually provision those endpoints. Endpoint Manager has support for over 350 different devices with over 20 manufacturers. And it's important to note, it's not just IP phones that you're getting with this. We've got support for SIP speakers as well as SIP paging gateways. So really it is Endpoint Manager, not Phone Manager. And this module is absolutely free when you're using any Sangoma telephones. So that's Endpoint Manager. Makes it very easy to provision multiple endpoints without having to manually touch them. Sysadmin Pro. Sysadmin Pro is the only exception to the 25-year license renewal that requires for you to pay for updates and support after the first year. This is a $39 25-year license, and we don't charge for renewals or updates on this. This license really should be on every FreePBX instance out there. It's going to provide you with the ability to configure your DNS and get you access to setting up and managing your intrusion detection and our integrated responsive firewall. It provides you with port management, including exposure of additional provisioning protocols for HTTP and HTTPS. And then it's also going to enable you to turn on a support VPN. So in the event that you need support from the Sangoma team, you can turn on a VPN client for us to be able to securely get into your box and help from that support standpoint. And finally, it does provide SMTP configurations for your email integration for things like voicemail to email. Call recording reports. So this is an example of one of those modules that's going to expand on a feature set that's already included with FreePBX. We don't charge anything to record calls on FreePBX out of the box. In fact, you can get very granular out of the box with how you want to do your call recording. You can choose to record all calls, inbound only, outbound only, even at the extension level, a particular restriction to just record calls on that extension. But call recording reports makes it easier for you to find those recordings, to view, search, sort, listen, delete, and get access to them. Without call recording reports, really the only way to get access to those recordings is going to be through the CDR, and it can be cumbersome to find the specific ones that you're looking for, sorting through a lot of lines of data. With call recording reports, it simplifies that. One of the other nice things that call recording reports does is it gives you the ability to generate a tarball of your call recordings. So if you're concerned about disk space on your production FreePBX and you're a company that's required to keep call recordings for X number of months or years, It's not best practice to keep them all on your production phone server. It would be better to use FTP to offload them and keep those recordings on a different server. Call recording reports makes that process a breeze. Paging Pro. Again, we support paging out of the box with FreePBX. You can do multicast paging, unicast paging, as well as support for mixed environments, meaning we've got SIP endpoints or we've got analog speaker infrastructure that we're using a gateway to go to. But what Paging Pro does is Paging Pro is going to give us the ability to do a scheduled recording or prepend a page with something like a tone. So with scheduled recordings, you could at the end of every day that the business is play a recording, something like, hey, the store is going to be closing at 5 p.m. With prepending with a tone, a lot of schools use this to replace a bell system. So you can have the bell tone get paged out at the top of every hour and replace a $100,000 bell system with the Paging Pro module. Another thing that Paging Pro does is valet style paging. So if you think about airports where the gate agents are all talking into their microphones at once, they're not paging all over each other. It's loading those announcements up into a queue. Page Pro will do something similar as well with that. And lastly, hook outbound routes to page groups. Kind of a mouthful. Essentially what we can do with Page Pro is initiate a phone call to a system administrator for something like, hey, if someone's going to call 911 or someone places a call to the fire department, anytime the PBX detects that particular outbound route's taking place, it can then place a phone call and bridge a system administrator onto that call. So we can hook a page group to initiate a call based on an outbound route. Parking Pro. So again, we have call parking supported out of the box on FreePBX. This is a shared hold for the phone system, meaning any extension on the phone system has the ability to essentially pick up a call that's on hold. With Parking Pro, we give you the ability to create multiple parking lots, and you get to park and announce with that as well. So new car sales team has their own parking lot versus used car sales team has their own parking lot to kind of avoid confusion from having everybody be in the same one. Appointment reminder. So appointment reminder is a really useful commercial module. Oftentimes it gets thought of as something only that can be used in medical doctors or dental offices, but this is a very popular module for auto service centers or beauty salons, anybody that's got a book of business that is based on managing appointments with their customer base. This allows you to upload a CSV or manually add a list of users that you want the phone system to call and place a reminder to them about their upcoming appointment. And the nice thing about this is you can also get a report sent out daily or however often you want to show you what the completion percentage of those appointment reminders was. Extension routing. So extension routing is going to allow for you to restrict outbound access to a route at the extension level. So what this means is lobby phones, or maybe in a school scenario, again, the phones that are in the classrooms, we only want them to be able to dial internally extension to extension and to 911. We can restrict and say that this particular phone is only going to have access to dial these certain outbound routes. Maybe it's they don't have access to international calling, but you can at the extension level, basically say these phones only have permissions to dial to these certain areas. Class of service is going to expand on essentially the concept of extension routing, where with extension routing, we can only restrict the outbound routes. Class of service is going to bring in additional calling feature permissions for different modules that you can restrict access to. So things like ring groups, if you have an extension on the phone system that is going to dial a ring group of say 20 callers, but you don't want one of your users to be able to call that ring group and ring to 20 callers, you can block that. you can give certain extensions the ability and permission to send a voicemail blast to different groups or users. From a paging perspective, going back to the school thing, if I'm a student and I know the extension or the feature code to call to do a page all to the school, I could be the one to go pick that phone up on the teacher's desk and do a page all. So we can restrict that from being something that they can dial. And that kind of ties in with feature codes as well. The feature codes for something like Monitor, Whisper, or Barge on an open source phone system are on the internet. So if you don't want your users to find out what those feature codes are and potentially be able to listen in on the CEO's telephone calls, you can restrict access at the extension level for what feature codes that they have access to. Same with conference rooms. You can secure your conference rooms by making sure that certain users cannot get into certain conference rooms. So that's class of service. Voicemail notify. This was designed as essentially an option for a 24/7 answering service. So think of this as a phone call comes in after hours and you've got a team of users that are on call, whether they're physicians or they're plumbers or whatever it may be. Phone call comes in, customer leaves a voicemail on your phone system. The phone system will then, with voicemail notify, immediately begin calling a list of predefined users and phone numbers. And what happens is they get an opportunity when they answer that call to press 1 to play the recording and listen to the message. And then they have an opportunity to accept responsibility for that call, in which case the phone system will stop calling the other users set up in voicemail notify. Or they can choose to deny responsibility for that, and it'll continue calling down the list until someone ultimately does accept responsibility for that voicemail. Another nice thing about this is you do get a full report sent to the system admin, so you can see which users denied responsibility for that message and who ultimately took responsibility for that message. Voicemail reports, this is going to give your system admin the ability to very easily listen to all the voicemails on the phone system from the GUI of the PBX. They can also listen to voicemail greetings of all users. So this is helpful at turn up to making sure that all of your users have a professional sounding voicemail greeting, as well as make sure that their voicemail passwords are not 123/4. So you can manage and configure essentially all voicemail settings for all users in one place. Multi-factor authentication. This is one of the modules that's only available as an annual subscription module. There's no 25-year MFA, but if your organization is one that is valuing security, there are many verticals that are having requirements, particularly financial institutions, that say that your phone system must be behind two-factor authentication for someone to access the GUI. We have the ability to set this up for as many administrators as you have, and this will work for both admin access to the box and user control panel. And we can do the two-factor authentication by your choice of an email notification. We can send a text message, and we also have integration with Microsoft and Google Authenticator applications as well. CRM link, so very popular commercial module. FreePBX can talk with your CRM and very easily not only log calls, but also actually attach call recordings directly into your CRM as well. We have direct support on this for Salesforce, Sugar, Suite, Zoho, and ConnectWise, but we also provide a generic API with this module as well. So if you're using a CRM that's not listed there, you have the ability to use those API calls to essentially get this same level of functionality and tie the PBX to the CRM using that generic API. Fax Pro. So Fax Pro was a more popular module. Fax still isn't going away. This one's more designed if you are still utilizing the PSTN in some way. Maybe you have a PRI that you can't get out of and move over to SIP trunking yet. and you want to be able to integrate your faxing with your PBX, it will allow you to send faxes through the phone system, as well as archive inbound faxes on the phone system, and provides a cover sheet for that outbound faxing for you as well. But we do have a better option than Fax Pro if it's a fit for you. We have Fax Station. This is not a commercial module. This is a standalone fax service. You don't even have to be a FreePBX user to use Fax Station, but it's a premium faxing solution where users can do their choice of an e-fax only, or they can use their existing fax machines. If you want to use your machines, you buy a Fax Station device that looks exactly like the one on this slide here, and it will connect to your fax machine and allow you to send and receive faxes from your existing machine. And we don't do traditional T38 protocol negotiation and have to worry about some of the issues that come from fax over IP. Fax Station does an SSH transfer to our data center where we send your faxes out over real copper PRIs. So this is a very reliable faxing solution, and it's now HIPAA compliant as well. So just an alternative to the Fax Pro module there. Advanced recovery. So if uptime is important to you and your organization, we offer a module called Advanced Recovery, where I can essentially have a replicated instance of FreePBX in a different geographically redundant location. And this works off of our concept essentially of a warm spare. So you have a primary PBX in location A, you can have your secondary PBX in location A as well, but this does work over the WAN, so it can be in two different data centers or two different locations. And basically what we do is we have your secondary PBX pull down a backup from the primary and restore it onto itself every day at, say, midnight. And in the event of any sort of a failure, as this module is monitoring Asterisk, MySQL, the software stack, the trunks, if it detects an issue in those places, it will auto swing your trunks and endpoints over to your secondary PBX. So you have the ability to maximize that uptime. And it's also going to send a phone call and or email notification to the system admin, letting you know that your system did fail down to secondary, so you can immediately start looking into what may have caused that. This is a 1-year module only as well. Queue reports, if you have a call center, or if you're just utilizing call queues and you want the ability to get some reporting and statistics on those queues, things like how many calls did this particular agent take that day, what's our average wait time, hold time, how many calls came into this queue, you have the ability to build those templates out exactly how you want to report on them. And then you can use the queue report scheduler to have these reports emailed to your team as often as you want them, daily, weekly, monthly, annually, whatever it may be. So this is good reporting for anything inbound into your queues from that standpoint. Queues Pro is going to give you the ability to do virtual queuing. This module also exposes a ton of additional queue penalty rules for your agents, as well as the big value that you get with this one is the queue callbacks. So if you don't want your customers to call in and have to sit and wait in a queue, this is what's going to give them the option to press 1 to have the phone system call them back when it's their turn in queue. So that feature is going to be included with the Queues Pro module. Exact dialer. So this is a broadcast dialer that allows for you to upload a CSV file of a list of contacts. You can define how many calls you want the phone system to generate at one time. You can define what you want the phone system to do with those calls based on whether or not it's a live answered call or a voicemail. So there is some answering machine detection technology built into there, but you can play a recording, you can route them to a queue, you can route them to an IVR. It's not a predictive dialer, so this is just a manual upload, and we want to get a message out via the phone system to the customer base. I think it was originally written for schools to let parents know that there was inclement weather and school was either canceled or closing early, something along those lines. Q Wallboard, this is going to utilize our user control panel, which is a browser-based dashboard that's free with every user on FreePBX. But if you want those real-time Q statistics displayed in user control panel, you can purchase Q Wallboard, and it's going to expose a ton of additional widgets that are specific to your Q reporting. So you have the ability to display, active calls that are sitting in the queue, any abandoned calls, how many calls were missed, taken, kind of a lot of the same things that we can run from that queue reports and queue report scheduler, but the ability to kind of display it in real time in the call center room so admins can kind of get better real time statistics as to what's going on there. All right, hospitality solutions. So we've got some commercial modules that are specific to hospitality. One is the Sangoma property management module. The property management module is a standalone module, and this one is really kind of designed for smaller bed and breakfast or very small room hotels that don't have a PMS software that they're utilizing. And essentially this can kind of take the place of property management software to help guests with and agents with check-in and check-out and room status changes and all that sort of stuff. So this is kind of adding PMS software to a smaller type bed and breakfast. But this module also works in conjunction with our Sangoma Oracle connector module. So Oracle is one of the most, if not the most prevalent PMS software applications that hotels use. And we have the ability to integrate your FreePBX or PBXact with Oracle. And this is going to do all sorts of things from syncing information with respect to the PBX to the PMS system. So room changes, check-in, check-out, enable class of service upon check-in for that particular room if they're going to have permissions to dial anywhere other than internally in the front desk. And then housekeeping can use the phones to do things with respect to room status changes like clean vacant, clean 30, and we can even sync through minibar charges and call accounting and all that good stuff takes place through the Oracle connector module here as well. A quick introduction to gray matter networks when it comes to hospitality. Sangoma has recently announced a strength in our partnership with Gray Matter Networks. Gray Matter is a leading telecom solution provider based out of New York, and Gray Matter actually wrote their own commercial module for FreePBX. It's called the Brain Box, and while Oracle is a widely popular PMS software application, it's not the only one. And what BrainBox does is essentially what we do with Oracle, but it does it for all of the other property management system software applications out there. And it works fantastic. Gray Matter has gotten this certified with a lot of really, really big hotel players out there. And currently, if you have opportunities for hotels or a need for something like this, we can introduce you to Gray Matter to get access to that module. But in the very near future, everyone will be able to buy that Gray Matter BrainBox module directly from Sangoma here as well. Soft clients. Softphones are hugely popular commercial modules. This may be quickly becoming our highest selling commercial module. Our Softphone module includes access to both the desktop and the mobile Softphone client. So we don't break it down and make you subscribe to one or the other or both. When you get the license, it's tied to an extension, and that extension is able to deploy both our desktop and our mobile Softphone client. The desktop client is what we're looking at here. This is a WebRTC client with all sorts of calling features that you would expect to want to have on your desktop client. Obviously, you can send and receive calls, but we do have BLF capability where you can see the status of other users in your organization and if they're on a call or not on a call. We've got an actual dedicated parking button to park calls and retrieve them. Status, presence, contacts, visual voicemail, all that good stuff is in here. Here's a quick peek at what that BLF looks like here. So you can see status, and next to my name, there's a green light bar indicating that I'm not available to take a call right now. Under my name, you can see that extension 105 has a solid green and their status is available. So that's indicating that Steve is on a call. And then the green light bar blinks on any calls that are getting an inbound ring to it there. Just briefly going to talk about this one. In the very near future, we're going to release a new application that's going to sit inside of the desktop Softphone and give you the ability to do real-time queue monitoring and statistics, with even the ability to do monitor whisper barge. So stay tuned, you're going to see this one coming down the pipe. Mobile Softphone clients, again, Android and iOS, same licensing as the desktop Softphone client. Both mobile and desktop have support for SMS and MMS if you are using SipStation or VoIP Innovations as your carrier for this. We've got BLF capability on the mobile client as well. We do utilize push notifications, so it's not going to burn your battery down. And we utilize security protocols in both desktop and mobile with the ability to configure and enable TLS and SRTP. Our mobile client is incredibly easy to provision and configure if you've never used it before. Administrators from the GUI of the PBX assign an email address to the extensions that are getting permissions for Softphones, and they click a button from the GUI to send an email out to those users. Users get an email, open it on their mobile phone, and they click a magic deep link in that email that will auto provision the Softphone. So no QR codes, no usernames and passwords, no SIP credentials, one click, done, Softphone's ready to go. Bundles, so you can buy any of those and all of those modules a la carte that we've covered here, but we do offer some bundles as well, so you can essentially save some money by purchasing a starter bundle, an advanced bundle, a call center bundle, which is going to have essentially all of the call center centric type of modules that we sell a la carte. And then we have an everything bundle as well. And the everything bundle really should be called the almost everything bundle. There are a few modules that are not included with the everything bundle. You're not going to get Softphones, you're not going to get Endpoint Manager, and you're not going to get advanced recovery with the everything bundle. So it's almost everything, but not quite. The most popular modules, or the highest selling modules that we have, are going to be these ones here: Sysadmin Pro, Endpoint Manager, Softphones, Park Pro, Page Pro, Extension Routing, Class of Service, and CRM Link. All of these modules are either free with PBXact or they're free if you're utilizing Sangoma phones. And those are our highest selling commercial modules. So what is PBXact? PBXact is our commercial version of FreePBX. It's the same operating system, it's the same software stack, it's the same MySQL database, but we take almost all those commercial modules that we went through today and we include them in the base of PBXact at no charge. So it's a much more feature-rich version of FreePBX. And then we also do module pinning and version control on PBXact. So if an update is exposed on PBXact, it's not going to be something that's potentially still in QA or in edge mode. You can rest assured if you upgrade modules or framework on PBXact, we know them to be bug-free, proven, and stable. PBXact often gets a connotation that it's a hardware-only product from Sangoma. That's not the case. You can convert any existing FreePBX, even the ones on your own hardware or virtual machines, into PBXact. So, we do have dedicated physical servers, but this is a software-only product. And we also do have a fully managed cloud infrastructure with PBXact as well that gets you all the modules and support entitlement, and we do all the updates on it. So which modules are actually included with it? Well, it's all those popular ones, but then it's a lot of the additional ones that we covered today as well, including Softphones for every user, which, that's one of those modules that's only available as a 1-year module on FreePBX. So if you've got a lot of users and you plan on utilizing Softphones, it's actually cheaper to end up going over the long run with PBXact than it is FreePBX because of the annual renewal on Softphones, the 25 renewal annual fee on some of the other commercial modules that you're going to need. And then from a support entitlement standpoint as well, PBXact just makes more sense. So that's why these gateways are the commercial modules are kind of a gateway to PBXact because you get almost all of them with PBXact. So real quick, we have another webinar coming up next month. That webinar is going to be on our next commercial module, which is going to be called CDR Pro. I'm super excited about this one. This is going to give you the ability to get simplified call reporting throughout the PBX without having to sift through the CDR as it is and get very, very detailed reporting at the extension level, the queue level, etc. So sign up for that one. We're going to be going over that next month. And, really just to kind of summarize everything, the 25-year licensing on our commercial modules for FreePBX does carry an annual renewal cost. You have the ability to save some money with us when you buy commercial modules in our bundle offerings, but you really save a ton of money when you end up going with PBXact. So that concludes today's webinar all about FreePBX commercial modules. I'm going to take a look and see if I can find any questions here that we can help answer. Let's see here. My contact information while I'm reading through here on the screen. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to call me or email me here. Is this being recorded? Yes, this is being recorded. Will we be able to get a copy of it? Absolutely. Can you set the BLF light bar to red instead of green for when an extension is busy, since green typically indicates free and available? Not at this time. That's not customizable, unfortunately. With PBXact, what modules will update if the support contract isn't renewed? None of them. So with PBXact, we require that you have a support contract in place in order to get access to updates on modules, but that's going to be inclusive of all of the commercial modules, including the ones that are included out of the box with it. So the support, you have one single annual support contract, which gets you access to software updates on modules and framework, as well as a service level agreement for guaranteed response times from support. And it's just the one instead of having multiple for FreePBX. Is there a demo license available for the Softphone? Absolutely. Anyone can go into the Sangoma portal, portal.sangoma.com. It's like you're completing a purchase, but you can buy a free 2-user trial of the Softphone licensing as well. All right, if I didn't get to all of the questions, I think I did, but if I didn't, we will put a sheet together and send that out to users with answers to the additional questions that were on there. And I appreciate everyone's time here today. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.